Welcome back to the channel. Today we're peeling back the layers on a topic that might just send chills down your spine. It's a conversation that often lurks in the shadows, but it's time we bring it into the light. We're diving into the potential dark side of the prepping world, a side that could transform some preppers into the very threats they once feared. In this video, we're taking a deep dive into what happens when survival instincts go rogue. First, let's set the stage. We all know those dedicated individuals who have made prepping their lifestyle. They are the ones with state-of-the-art gear, the latest tactical innovations, and enough firepower to rival a small military unit. To outsiders, they may seem like the ultimate guardians of safety in a world teetering on the edge of chaos. But what happens when society crumbles and the rules of civilization vanish? Could these guardians become the predators? Prepping, at its core, is about being ready for whatever the world throws our way, be it natural disasters, economic collapse, or any number of unforeseen challenges. It's about ensuring safety, security, and sustenance for ourselves and our loved ones. However, there's a growing trend that should give us pause. Some preppers, driven by a fascination with doomsday scenarios, seem more captivated by the drama of societal collapse than by the sobering reality of it. Now, it's crucial to emphasize that not all preppers are on this path. Many are genuinely invested in the well-being of their communities and families. But within the prepping community, there exists a subset that seems to relish the notion of a world gone mad. They're the ones who might be more excited by the chaos of a societal breakdown than they are prepared for its harsh realities. Why do I think this is something we need to discuss? Because what's happening on my own channel speaks volumes. Videos showcasing firearms and tactical training consistently pull in more views than those focused on essential survival skills like food preservation, water purification, and medical preparedness. This skewed focus suggests that the allure of weaponry and combat often overshadows the fundamental principles of survival. This brings us to the uncomfortable truth we must confront when civil order collapses, and it's every person for themselves. Those who have prepared with a lopsided emphasis on aggression over sustenance might cross lines they never imagined. The thrill of wielding power in a lawless world could transform protectors into predators. But why does this happen? The answer lies in the psychological and social dynamics at play. In times of extreme stress and uncertainty, fear can warp judgment and morality. The pressure of survival can erode the very humanity we aim to preserve. In environments where might makes right, those with the most firepower can quickly become the ones who dictate terms, often at the expense of compassion and community. So as we navigate these murky waters, it's vital to remember the importance of balance in our prepping strategies. True preparedness isn't just about collecting gear or honing combat skills. It's about fostering resilience, empathy, and cooperation. It's about ensuring that even in the darkest times, we hold on to the light of our humanity. In this video, we'll explore these themes further, examining why some preppers might veer down this dangerous path and how we can steer our own prepping journeys toward a more balanced approach. It's a sobering topic, but one that we must address head-on. Together, let's explore the potential pitfalls and find ways to ensure that when the dust settles, we emerge not just as survivors but as beacons of hope and humanity. Stay tuned, because this conversation is just getting started. 1. The glaring lack of practical skills and training within some parts of the prepping community. It's an issue that's been looming large, a proverbial elephant in the room that we can't ignore any longer. This deficiency is a direct consequence of what we touched on earlier: this widespread disinterest in the fundamental aspects of survival preparation. Here's the reality: there's a noticeable trend among preppers today. Many are decked out in the latest tactical gear, boasting setups that could easily impress a seasoned Navy SEAL. But here's the twist: this impressive arsenal often masks a significant void. When it comes to the real-world application of all that gear, or surviving beyond the initial chaos of a disaster scenario, there's a gap you could drive a convoy through. This isn't just conjecture, it's something I've observed repeatedly. My videos featuring the flashy equipment and cutting-edge guns? They rake in views like there's no tomorrow. However, when I shift the focus to vital survival skills, the kind that can genuinely keep you alive when everything goes south, the interest plummets. It's like trying to serve up a plate of broccoli to a kid who'd rather have candy. Necessary, yes, but not exactly the adrenaline-fueled content people crave. But let's be clear, the lack of practical skills and training is more than just a minor inconvenience. In a post-disaster world, it's a potential death sentence. Picture this: society has unraveled, and there you are, surrounded by all the gear money can buy, but without the skills to use it effectively. That's not just unfortunate, it's downright perilous. Knowing how to wield your tactical gear effectively, navigate without the aid of technology, or administer basic medical aid can be the difference between life and death. And let's delve into the concept of training for a moment. There's a worrying number of individuals who believe that simply owning a high-end tactical rifle is sufficient. But here's the hard truth without proper training. That rifle is little more than an expensive paperweight. Training is where the rubber meets the road. It's one thing to own a tool, mastering it is an entirely different ballgame. So, what am I driving at here? It's straightforward. While gear certainly has its place, it's only a fraction of the entire preparedness narrative. The true essence of prepping lies in acquiring practical skills and comprehensive training. It's not just about knowing which end of the gun goes bang. It's about being as adept in survival skills as you are in handling your gear. Ultimately, the most invaluable asset in any prepper's toolkit isn't the shiny gear hanging off a tactical vest, it's what resides between their ears. Equipping that space with practical skills and rigorous training is what truly distinguishes the prepared from the unprepared when the world around us crumbles. 2. The aggressive mindset and lack of forethought prevalent among some preppers. This mentality is akin to playing a strategic game like chess, but with the brute force of a bulldozer. It's all about power, force, and immediate action, often overlooking the necessary strategy and forward planning. This trend within the prepping community is increasingly worrisome. There's a noticeable cowboy attitude among a subset of preppers, as if they're gearing up for a Wild West showdown. This mindset is evident in the comments they leave, the videos they consume, and the discussions they engage in about SHTF scenarios. It's a narrative centered on who can draw their weapon the fastest, who can emerge as the toughest survivor. But let's be honest, this kind of thinking is not only short-sighted but also dangerously risky. This aggressive stance, embracing a shoot first, ask questions later philosophy, is a sure path to trouble. It's akin to having a hammer and seeing every challenge as a nail. While action heroes might thrive on this approach in movies, real-life crises demand far more nuanced strategies. In actual disaster situations, this mindset can lead to pointless conflicts, shutting down opportunities for alliances or sharing resources that could be beneficial. Here's a critical point to ponder: not everyone you encounter post-disaster is an enemy. Any individuals you meet will be in survival mode, just like you. Adopting an all-out aggressive approach might mean alienating those who could become valuable allies. Picture this: individuals you dismiss might possess skills or resources that could significantly enhance your survival chances. Equally concerning is the lack of forethought. It's like embarking on a cross-country road trip without a map and with a nearly empty tank. Some preppers boast about their plans to take whatever they need by force, with no questions asked. However, they fail to consider the long-term repercussions of such tactics. This goes beyond moral and ethical concerns, it's about survival strategy itself. Burning bridges and creating enemies is no way to endure in a world where the rules have drastically changed. In survival situations, strategic thinking and collaboration are invaluable. The aggressive mindset might offer short-term gains, but it's the thoughtful planners, those who build alliances, who stand a better chance in the long run. It's about making calculated decisions rather than impulsive actions that could lead to irreversible consequences. The essence of survival hinges on adaptability, foresight, and cooperation. Instead of focusing solely on who can wield power and force, it's vital to cultivate a mindset that values collaboration and strategic alliances. By doing so, you not only enhance your survival odds but also foster a community spirit that's crucial in rebuilding and thriving in a post-disaster world. 3. The disinterest in essential survival preparations, a concern that's as glaring as it is puzzling. At the heart of survival lies understanding the basics: food, water, medical supplies, the true essentials that form the backbone of enduring any catastrophe. Yet, there's a growing trend within the prepping community that focuses more on the flair and spectacle of prepping than on these fundamental needs. I've observed firsthand how this plays out, particularly in the content that garners the most attention. Upload a video about the latest tactical gear or a new firearm, and the views pour in like a tidal wave. Shift the focus to something crucial, like purifying water or stockpiling non-perishable foods, and suddenly it's as if the audience has vanished, leaving only tumbleweeds behind. It's perplexing, especially when these basics are what truly sustain life in dire situations. This neglect of essential survival preparations isn't just a curious oversight, it's a potentially dangerous blind spot that could have serious consequences. Picture this scenario: the worst has happened, and you find yourself in the thick of it. You've got an impressive array of gear, yet your pantry is sparse, and your understanding of basic medical care is almost non-existent. That's not just unfortunate, it's a formula for disaster. The harsh reality is that even the most well-stocked arsenal won't fill empty stomachs or tend to an infection. Now, Let me be clear, I'm not underplaying the significance of self-defense and security. They are undeniably vital components of the prepper puzzle. But they are merely pieces, not the entirety of the picture. The core of effective prepping lies in striking a balance between all aspects of survival. Being prepared means being just as ready to cultivate a garden or purify water as you are to defend your homestead. It's crucial to recognize that while flashy gear and high-tech gadgets have their allure, they are only part of the survival story. The rest of the narrative is written by mastering the less glamorous, yet equally critical, skills and supplies necessary for enduring hardship. It's high time we shift our focus and ignite the same enthusiasm for the essentials as we do for tactical gear. Because at the end of the day, survival isn't merely about outgunning others, it's about outliving the chaos. This requires a robust foundation built on comprehensive preparedness that covers all the basics. For the attraction to violence-oriented content within the prepping community, it's a phenomenon that's hard to ignore, like the way blockbuster action movies dominate box offices, while documentaries often go unnoticed. But here's the thing, while understanding self-defense and managing crisis situations are crucial, there's a fine line between being prepared and being consumed by a fascination with violence. This fixation on the high-octane, guns-blazing aspects of survival can cloud our understanding of what prepping genuinely entails. It's not just about gearing up for battle or daydreaming about being the lone survivor in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Prepping, at its core, is about readiness for any challenge that comes your way. It's about protecting and preserving life, not just defending it with sheer force. Imagine this: you've got all the tactical gear, your shooting skills are top-notch, and you're mentally prepared for combat scenarios. But what happens when the immediate threats subside? Are you equipped with the skills necessary to sustain yourself and your loved ones in the long haul? This is where the obsession with violent content can become a dangerous distraction. While the idea of taking down adversaries or surviving a firefight may sound thrilling, the true essence of prepping is found in the quieter, less glamorous skills like cultivating your own food or administering first aid. These life-preserving abilities may not quicken the pulse like a dramatic showdown, but they are what truly sustain life when the dust settles. So how do we shift the narrative? It's time we start celebrating the unsung heroes of the prepping world. The individuals who understand the importance of getting their hands dirty, who focus on the monotonous but vital tasks that ensure survival beyond the initial chaos. These are the preppers who truly embody the spirit of readiness, not just through their ability to handle a firearm, but through their capacity to adapt and thrive in a changed world. The real measure of a prepper isn't just in how they handle a weapon, it's in how they handle the long, arduous journey of survival after the bullets have stopped flying. It's about whether they can cultivate resilience and resourcefulness when confronted with scarcity and uncertainty. In our journey into understanding and addressing the dynamics of prepping, let's prioritize the skills that might not be headline-grabbing but are life-sustaining. Let's balance the adrenaline rush of tactical readiness with the steady assurance of practical preparedness. This approach not only enhances our chances of surviving the initial chaos but also ensures that we thrive in the aftermath. It's about finding that equilibrium between readiness and sustainability, ensuring that our approach to prepping is as holistic as it is effective. In conclusion, while the sensationalized notion that preppers will inevitably turn to murder during SHTF scenarios grabs attention, it oversimplifies the complexities of human behavior under stress and misrepresents the true essence of preparedness. Although it's undeniable that desperation can lead individuals to drastic actions, it's more constructive to focus on building community resilience and fostering cooperation among preppers. Instead of viewing self-reliance through a lens of paranoia and aggression, we should channel efforts into cultivating skills that emphasize sustainability, empathy, and problem-solving. By shifting the narrative from cutthroat survival to collaborative endurance, we can help ensure that in times of crisis, humanity's best traits are brought to the forefront, guiding us not just to survive but to thrive together.